Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Vordy. I'm doing another video here on how to set up emulators, and this time we're going to be using using Nox as an example. Personally, I use Nox as it's the one I play with. It's the one that when you see me recording, it's going to be the emulator I'm using when I'm recording. I find it to be a little bit smoother and a little bit more efficient, at least for myself. I've also been using MU before, and that's not bad. It just sometimes it crashes on during inconvenient times, especially when the processor is being used up a lot. Like when you got a bunch of things on screen, you're recording and you're trying to do multiple things, and it gets a little intense. I've had it crash a few times. Nox hasn't done that for me yet, but we'll see. This is my first time trying to have more than 3. I normally only have 2 on Nox open. So we're going to have about 3 open up on Nox to do a re-rolling video together. Kind of like how my emulator tutorial kind of went. So we're going to do the same thing here. First, the notable difference right now is that when I was recording it the first time, I didn't take into consideration that there's probably people out there who are watching the video. They don't have unlimited internet like myself, so downloading the APK over and over again was not efficient. So what I did was where I actually downloaded the APK first. So that being granted, you can download the APK, and then from there we can make it a lot easier. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. First, we're gonna go into Google. We're gonna type in FFBE, and we're gonna go and write English APK. If you don't write English, it's gonna give you the Japanese one first. You're gonna click on apkpure.com. It should be the first one, and the big giant green button that says download APK. It's about 86.1 megabytes. You download it and save it somewhere that's accessible so that you can use it for your rerolls. Okay. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get the big boy itself, which is gonna be Nox, and you're gonna type in Nox Android emulator, and it's gonna be from the website bignox.com. And this is where you're gonna download it. It's written off on the first page. Don't have to look for it. Click on download, and then just let it download. It's about 300 megabytes. Once it's finished download, the only thing you really need to look out for is if it's giving you an option to download multi-drive or multi-drive Nox. Make sure you click that option because you're going to need that if you want to have multiple accounts open at the same time. I'm not going to go through the process with you because yeah, it's going to be 300 megabytes plus it's point and click. If you've made it this far and you're working YouTube, I'm sure you know how to point and click and just kind of read through those things and accept. It's not going to be anything complicated. Okay, so once you're in this situation and you got the icons, and I like to put my APK right by my thing which I'm working with so that I know what I'm actually focused on. So you're going to click on multi-drive. What I've already done is, since this is my main, it's currently off. I've already set up 2 Nox ones so that I can have 3. Again, I don't want to make this video too long, so we're going to set up 1 together. So I'm assuming that you're going to do at least 1 with me. So I'm going to do, at the bottom here, it says add emulator. I'm just going to click on add, and it'll just go and do it itself. So it's just powering through and just setting it up for us. And then we're going to boot it up. And we're going to go through a few changes that you can do that can help enhance your performance. So once it's done, I can click on start. If you have multiple, then you just click start, 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 and let them load up. For performance purposes, you should click and start and let one load up all the way. See this bar down here? When this bar ends all the way to the end, it goes to 100%, then you should start the next one. Otherwise, if you don't have a strong computer, the process will get overloaded, and it'll take 3 or 4 times as long for it to complete its process, rather than if you just waited and let them finish individually. Okay, so it's almost done here. The first thing we're going to look at here at the top corner where you have the X, the box, and the little minimizing button, there's a gear here. As you can see, it's being highlighted. It's the gear. We're going to be clicking on the gear. We're just going to do some small adjustments. So we're going to go to the gear, and here what we're going to do is we're going to enable root. We're going to put root on just so that we don't have any problems like using and downloading the APK into it. We want to say that we are the owners of this device. Okay, and we're in under advanced. Here is where if this is your primary one, then you can bump it up to high or whatever to kind of let you use more RAM, or middle or low. But so the higher you go on here, the more you're gonna get performance. So you can customize it and give it more RAM if you have, let's say, 16 gigabytes of RAM or 32 gigabytes of RAM. Since I got 32, I normally put mine at 8 gigabytes of RAM, and then I just leave it at that, and it's super smooth, and I still have enough RAM to run my other functions like stuff in the back or have multiple accounts running. But for this case, we're just gonna do middle. I'm just gonna assume we're all the same. Not picking phone or anything. I'm just leave it a tablet, and I'm doing 1280 by 720. And then from here, you can kind of look at some of these other things, like how to set up an iOS device, some shortcut keys that you can set up for yourself as well. And here you can have some options on how to add or remove some of the keys buttons that are here on the far right for you. Okay, so I'm just gonna make this a tinge bigger. Okay, so that we can kind of see a little bit better. So going from the top where the time is, you can see as it's highlighted, you have a little device here. When you highlight it, it'll say, it'll tell you what it is. So in our case, this here is shake. In some games, when you get to a particular thing, it'll say like, you need to shake your phone. Well, that's exactly what this will do. This will mimic that shake thing. So as you can see, it shakes my screen. It's the same thing. It would shake your phone, shake your tablet, or whatever. I'm not going to go through all of these, as you can always take time to look at them, and I would advise you to look at them so you have a chance to see everything. What we're looking for, I'm just going to lower the volume here as well. What we're looking for is the one right under the lower volume, which just says add APK file. So what it says here, besides browsers, local app files to install, you could also drag and drop them. So essentially, you don't have to do it this way. You can just grab it and drop it in there. So it's just telling you a little tip on the way that you can do it. So anything that's locally, you can always do it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go down there. We're going to pick up the APK this way, because it's right there. It's just functioning. So I'm going to click on it. It gives me a little notification saying, oh, by the way, it's starting to install. Yay. And it's going to try and log into the game right away, which is really fantastic if we were logged into Google Play, but we are not. So it's going to give you this. So for whatever reason, when you come to this screen, you can click existing, you can click new, and even if the existing populates and lets you put it in, it's got a very low chance of it completing. So we're not going to do it that way. We're just going to do it the most efficient way. You're going to go to Play Store, you're going to click on existing, and you're going to put your account here, okay? So if just for 2 seconds here, I'm going to move this off screen so I can use my account. And the reason I'm moving it off is if you notice when you're typing yours in, it'll actually populate the password, and it sits there for a few seconds so that you can see everything, which is great. Okay, so that's my YouTube email, and then my password, and then we're gonna go here next. Give you some shenanigans, sure, whatever, don't really care. It says signing in, so it says backup data. No, I don't care. You don't want to do it for this one, so there's an error. You can say deny, but I don't want them to back up because these are just re-rolling accounts. Why would I care? You can always go back and change this under settings afterwards. No, I don't want them to give me any communications. We are rolling. Here again, I don't really care because it's a re-roll account, and again, it's going to my YouTube account. I don't really care. Decline. On my main account, those are all accepted, so you can always change them in settings, as I was saying. So now we're ready to go. From this perspective, we can click on it, and it should just skip that whole part. So connecting, yeah, sure. Thank you. And away we go. So we are already, we're in. So for every account you make, you're gonna have to log into the account. The good news about this method is that once you put the APK in, then you can, you don't have to download it. So it's ready, it's already installed for you, everything is good. At this portion here, you're gonna click on, I always click on download during tutorial, because as you're going through the tutorial, it takes a little bit of time, so you get to save that giant download. So yes, we will do it this way. This doesn't matter, you don't have to pick a name for Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, because later on you can change the name, so you don't have to worry, okay? So, okay, yes, do it. We're just gonna turn up a tinge of the volume, just a wee bit. You probably can't even hear it. It's just for me, so that I don't go insane listening to nothing, listening to the flowers move and the paint dry. Okay, so that's pretty much how it is for setting up. So since we're already making this video, if you're not doing this for Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, then at this point you are pretty much ready to go. As you can see, since I'm only running it on medium, I already have 2 instances open, and on something like a video, you can see it's getting a little bit choppy because I didn't dedicate enough memory to it, and then still having 2 other ones open. But yeah, what I was going to say before I get distracted and move on, if you're not doing anything further for Final Fantasy Brave Exvius and you don't want to see me do 15 pulls, which is going to be the 3 accounts, 5 each, then, sorry, why am I saying 15? Looking at 17 pulls because it's 6 pulls each or so. Yeah, I think something like that. Sorry, I cannot remember. I think it's only 5 tickets now. But anyways, if you're not sticking around, you don't want to see the pulls, then this is your chance to kind of just close the video and be like, you know what, thank you so much, peace out. If you want to see what I'm rolling, that's kind of what we're going to do next. You can kind of see my performance. We're going to kind of make it kind of faster, hopefully. So I'm just going to go down here and I'm going to pull up the, not Premiere Pro, but we're going to pull up these. So there is Premiere Pro, by the way. So if you want to know which tool I use to edit things and play around with things, that's the tool. So we're just going to let it load up because it won't close because it's awesome like that. So once you have your things running, you can minimize that. So we're going to go bam. And we're going to make this. We're going to make them semi-big so that you can see everything. Since I'm only doing 3 accounts, why not? So yeah. It's funny how this is taking longer than anything else in the video. Organization, man. Organization. Okay, this one's going to be massive. Why not? Perfect. Okay. So I'm just going to truck along. The one thing I've noticed since I've been re-rolling from my original video is that the amount of tickets you get or how you re-roll is different. So when I got like MEMU the first time, I went ahead and I tried to I was already pretty far in the game. I already had like lightning, and I just for fun I was like, oh, you know what? Let me just see how hard it is to re-roll. I want to see. That's what I did. I re-rolled, and I don't know if I'm going crazy, but I recall during the time when I was re-rolling that I was getting 5,000 lapis and I had 10 tickets or 5 tickets or something like that. Something along those lines. And now it was like only 10 tickets, as you can see in the MEMU tutorial. And then all of a sudden now it's 5. Which is really bizarre. So I'm doing these individually. As you can see, there's a little bit of a downloading thing at the start there. If you do them all together, it can lock up. So after this point, yeah, now it doesn't need to go. Then it could be all together. It won't matter. But yeah, so now it's only 5 tickets. And I think from doing like the quests, you get an additional ticket. So I guess you can say it's 6. So you can do like 18 pulls. I think we'll double check this in this video to see if they've changed it again or not. But when you get the crystal to fall down, the white crystal, essentially what that means is that's as far as you really need to go. You can clear about 2 more quests, and you can get 1 more summoning ticket from beating the Ochu, which I don't know if it's worth the time. It takes quite a while to kind of go, especially if you don't summon it. The fight itself is not that it's super difficult, but it just takes so long that I don't know if it's worth it. If you're doing re-rolling, it's better just to keep re-rolling 3 accounts and trying to get those initial 5 or 6 rolls, which we're going to confirm in a minute. Boom, boom, boom. So the other thing I wanted to make reference to is, it says here, till rank 8. Till you're rank 8, it costs 0 energy for you to do these quests. So if you get a really good character and you wanted to get maybe like a jump on some TM farming, if you really wanted to, you could just put them in and make them repeat over and over again until they get to rank 8. You might be able to do maybe like a few hundred runs before you get to rank 8 just by doing the sheer amount of runs from it. You know, you might get maybe some percentages out of that. Who knows? Like 20%, maybe 2%. Depends on the randomness. But I noticed that, see, that's the other thing that's been changing. Before it said till rank 4. And then I remember a little while ago it was like till rank 6, and now it also changed with that latest update we got when before this new King Mog event came. It now no longer says 6; it's now 8. So it looks like they're continuously changing that, because I did a reroll on JP for fun a little while ago for myself, and they were doing the 5,000 lapis and 10 tickets. I did it during the Noctis event for my JP account, and if you've looked at my tour of my JP account, I do have Noctis on there. Yeah, and theirs was a lot easier to do the reroll. I only did it twice. I did the reroll twice, and the first round I got Rainbow Crystal as well out of the 1, and it wasn't anything special. And then the second time I did it, I only had 1 account up. And I said, you know what, if I don't get anything good, I don't really care. I was just going to make my JP account to kind of be able to see what kind of events are coming out, and just kind of look at the characters, like, you know, their announcements, to see what they're coming out with. And yeah, then I ended up pulling up Noctis, so I started playing it a little bit. To the point where I was able to actually beat the new event, the King's Glaive event. I was actually able to beat all the way up to the Cerberus. And then this new event that they got, I was able to actually stick around for the whole thing, which was great. So this is the part where we're gonna hopefully get our new ticket. This is where they chat. So we're gonna get a white roll, which is a friends point roll. So there it is, friend point. Again, these guys are like, for new players, it's enough for you to kind of continue. Getting like the healer is probably the best. Like this lady here in the middle, Leah, because there you go, 2 Leahs. We're gonna get a third Leah. We're gonna make this a 3. Are we gonna make it a 3? Are we? No, we're not. Tron kicks in, so the black mage kicks in, which is great. But anyways, if you're not continuing, it doesn't matter. So see 5 summoning tickets. Okay, boom, boom, boom. The one thing I did notice is this is also a lot smoother than it was before when you were getting multiple tickets. So at this point, you can just go to home, the bundle to starting off. Okay, boom, boom. Okay, so here we are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into these, and I'm just going to claim these because this gives me at least 1 more free pull, which means that I can actually do 6 instead of the 5. Well, 1/2 or discount pull, as we like to call it here in Final Fantasy Brave XPS. Okay, and we'll start off with that summon. Why not? So we're gonna go boom, boom, boom. So as you can see, the current banner in the back right now is the Final Fantasy Type 0. So this tutorial is being made now. It wasn't made before, and then me just posting it up. So I'm actually doing it right now. So this is relevant as of the date that we are in today, which is January 16th. So it's perfect. So we got Jack, Shantoto, and Trey. So Jack is pretty good. It's good for a new player to start off with. And we're just going to go into this banner, why not? And you can see here, only 5 tickets. If you watch my other tutorial on the ME emulator, you'll notice that there is 10. There is 10, so you get to do 11 pulls per each, half off, and then... oh, that's not what I want. What am I doing? Got too comfortable. Yep. So you get to get... you only get 5 instead of this one. So, all right. So I'm just gonna click these through because unless a rainbow comes down, then we can sit there and we can pray together to see if we can get something cool. Another Jack. All right, Jack. Simmer down, bud. Okay. Up here in Canada, where we eat hockey pucks and get rainbow crystals on the 3rd pull, bro. Oh my god. So yeah, if you haven't noticed, I'm Canadian. Canadian. Mercedes. I wonder what it'll be. Let me guess. It's gonna be Ace because I couldn't pull it on my main account. Or it's gonna be Ace. So there we go. We have an Ace. Yay! We pulled Ace. Too bad he's not so good. Like, I'm a pretty big collector, and I'm not a fan of Final Fantasy Type 0 because I don't really remember playing it that much. So I'm not going to be a fanboy over it. I only wanted to get 7, and I pulled multiple 7s from like the pulling video I had that you should probably check out. Oh, nice. And a Miyuki. That account is being stacked. So I got pretty lucky on the characters I wanted, and I was happy with that. I'm not going to complain. Come on. Who's going to complain about that? Get what you want. I wonder. Actually, so it's all the pulls I've ever done. I've never had more than 1 rainbow crystal on 1 account pulled within like the 5 or 10. And then I've seen people pull in a multi 2 rainbow crystals. Whoopsies. Bam. So that's that. Nothing good. Nothing good. Bam. So there you go. And a Charlotte. So if you're watching this video and you want this account here on the right, I'm actually going to hold on to it for a little bit. If somebody wants that account and that's the best that you've seen being re-rolled, send me a message letting me know that, hey, you know what, that's what you want. I'll give it to you. I'll hold on to it for a little while here. But let me just show you the units that we've got for each account. So you can see here, the one on the left, the one in the center is not bad. They got Zidane, which is pretty good. It's got dual wield. And this one over here is actually a really good start for an account. You get a tank, you get a 6-star unit. He's okay, he's no boss, but you get a healer, and you get another decent TM here, which is Miyuki, the Sakura Fubuki. So yeah, overall, that is how I would re-roll this instance. And then when I'm done with everything, so for example, this is Nox 3, Nox 2 is the one I want to keep. As you can see in the top here, it says Nox 2 right beside the Nox icon in the top left corner. I'm going to keep Nox 2 because I want to, in case somebody wants it. So I'm going to name this here. I'm going to say Ace Pull. I've read Pull Hold. So then I know I'm holding that account. And then these two bad boys, I'm going to go stop. Yep. I'm going to click on you. Stop. Yep. So those guys are now stopped. I don't want to keep those accounts. I'm going to click on the little garbage bin to the far right of it. I'm going to delete. Hell yeah, I don't want it anymore. And at this point, if I really wanted to, I can make more and continue to play. The one thing I would encourage is if you're going to pick Nox over MEMU, you should take a look at all the options and look at through all of the little buttons on the right here. That'll benefit you. You should also look at the gear up here and double check any of these things. If you do pick the account, once you're done your installation, I would go and change the root to be off. So that way, if you have this emulator running on your computer and you leave it on for a long period of time, and let's say that your computer gets compromised, they won't have access to this tablet, which might be able to elevate other privileges. So just altogether, just if you can turn off root, just because you're not going to need it. So I'm never going to turn this thing on again because, like I said, I'm probably going to give this away. If nobody says anything in a few weeks, I'm just going to delete it. Unless a friend comes by and says, I want Ace, is my favorite, then, I'll pass it along. All right, so that concludes this tutorial video. Hopefully this was helpful for you, and hopefully you stuck around for the whole thing. If not, that's all cool. It doesn't matter because this last part was really just Final Fantasy Brave Exvius related. So that's kind of that. Just remember, exercise, some motivation is required. Yeah, anyways, so thank you so much for sticking around. This is Vorty, and I'm really happy that you stuck around for the video. Please subscribe, like the video, comment, let me know anything. I'll continue to try and make more things. Was thinking of making some more updated things in regards to how you can use these emulators to do other things as well. So those will probably come in the future. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you around. This is Vorty, and I'm out. Peace.